You know that moment when you get your first paycheck after a raise and you are genuinely excited. You open your banking app expecting to see significantly more money, and instead you see basically the same amount you always see. Maybe $100 more, maybe $200 if it was a big raise. And you think, wait, where did the rest of it go? Here is what actually happened. You got a $5,000 raise. After taxes, that became $3,200. Your brain expected $5,000, so seeing $3,200 already feels disappointing. But then something even more insidious happens. Within 3 months, even that $3,200 completely disappears. Not to taxes, to lifestyle inflation that happens so gradually and invisibly that you do not even notice it occurring. I call this the invisible raise phenomenon. And here is the number that is going to make this concrete. 82% of people who get a raise report that their financial situation feels exactly the same 6 months later. Not slightly better, not a little more comfortable, exactly the same. Think about what that means. You negotiated hard for that raise. You proved your value. You increased your income by 10% or 15% or even 20%. And 6 months later, you have nothing to show for it. The money came in and the money went out, and you are in the exact same financial position you were before the raise happened. My name is Nick, and today we are going to talk about why raises do not build wealth the way you think they do, how the invisible raise phenomenon works at a psychological level, and why the person who seems to get richer with every raise is not just making more money, they are protecting the raise from disappearing. If you have ever gotten a raise and wondered why it did not change anything, this video is going to explain exactly what happened to that money and how to make sure your next raise actually improves your life instead of just inflating it. Let us get into it. The anatomy of a disappearing raise. Before we go any further, I need to show you exactly how a raise disappears step by step, because most people have no idea this is happening. Let us walk through a real example. You're making $60,000 per year. You get a $6,000 raise, a solid 10% increase. Your new salary is $66,000. Here is what actually happens to that money. Step 1, the tax haircut. That $6,000 raise is not $6,000 take home. Your marginal tax rate, the rate on each additional dollar, is probably around 30 to 35% when you combine federal, state, and FICA. $6,000 raise multiplied by 65% after taxes equals $3,900 actual take-home increase. Divided by 12 months equals $325 per month. Your brain expected $500 per month. $6,000 divided by 12. You're getting $325. Already there's a $175 per month expectation gap that makes the raise feel smaller than it is. Step 2, the immediate upgrade. Within the first month of the raise, something happens. You upgrade something you have been putting off because once I get that raise, I can afford it. Maybe it is a better apartment, $150 per month more. Maybe it is a car upgrade, $200 per month more in payment. Maybe it is a gym membership you have been wanting, $60 per month. Maybe it is finally getting that streaming service package, $25 per month. These feel justified because you got a raise, but they are permanent monthly expenses that immediately consume a chunk of the raise. Let us say they total $200 per month. $325 take-home increase minus $200 in immediate upgrades equals $125 remaining. Step 3, the gradual creep. This is the insidious part. Over the next 2 to 3 months, your spending subtly increases across multiple categories. You order delivery slightly more often because you can afford it now, plus $40 per month. You buy nicer versions of things you were buying anyway, plus $30 per month. You say yes to social activities you would have declined before, plus $35 per month. Your coffee shop visits increase from 2 times per week to 4 times per week, plus $25 per month. None of these feel like big decisions. Each one is tiny and justified, but they add up to $130 per month. $125 remaining minus $130 gradual creep equals minus $5. And just like that, the entire raise is gone. In fact, you are now spending $5 per month more than the raise provided, which means you are actually in a slightly worse position than before the raise. This is the invisible raise phenomenon. The money came in, the money went out, and you have absolutely nothing to show for it except a slightly more expensive lifestyle that does not feel any better than your old lifestyle did. The psychology of raise absorption. Now let us talk about why this happens, because it is not stupidity or lack of discipline. It is your brain operating exactly as evolution designed it. Mechanism 1, hedonic adaptation. Your brain is wired to return to a baseline level of happiness regardless of positive changes in circumstances. When you get a raise, you feel happy for about 2 to 3 weeks. Then you adapt. The new income becomes your new normal, and you stop feeling the happiness boost. But here is the problem your spending adapted to. You increased expenses to match the new income. So you are not happier because you adapted, but you are spending more because expenses do not adapt back down. This is why people making $150,000 do not report being significantly happier than people making $75,000. They adapted to the higher income, but their expenses adapted with it, so the net effect on happiness is zero. Mechanism 2: Lifestyle Permission Licensing. Your brain treats a raise as permission to upgrade your lifestyle. You have been responsible, you have worked hard, you earned more money, therefore you deserve to spend more money. This logic is not wrong exactly, but it is financially catastrophic because it creates a one-to-one ratio between income increases and spending increases. Every dollar you earn more becomes a dollar you spend more, which means your net worth never improves. Mechanism 3: Reference Point Shifting. Before the raise, you compared your lifestyle to someone making $60,000. After the raise, you unconsciously start comparing yourself to someone making $66,000. And someone making $66,000 lives in a slightly nicer apartment, drives a slightly nicer car, eats at slightly nicer restaurants. So your brain recalibrates what normal spending looks like, and your expenses shift to match the new reference point. Mechanism 4: The Denominator Illusion. When you are making $60,000, a $150 expense feels significant. That is 0.25% of your annual income. When you are making $66,000, that same $150 expense feels smaller because the denominator changed. Your brain does this calculation unconsciously. Higher income makes individual expenses feel less significant, so you are more willing to make them. Death by 1,000 purchases that each feel smaller than they used to. The 3 raise protection strategies. Alright, let us talk about how to actually protect a raise from disappearing. Because if you do not have a system in place before the raise hits your bank account, the invisible raise phenomenon will consume it automatically. Strategy 1: The immediate sequester. The moment you get confirmation of a raise before the first bigger paycheck even arrives, you set up an automatic transfer that routes the entire after-tax increase directly to a separate investment account. This is critical. The transfer has to happen automatically before you see the money. If the raise hits your checking account and you plan to manually transfer it later, it will disappear into lifestyle inflation. The automation removes temptation and decision-making. Here is how to calculate it. $6,000 raise divided by 12 months equals $500 per month, minus approximately 35% taxes equals $325 per month. Set up automatic transfer of $325 per month to investment account starting the same month the raise takes effect. Your lifestyle does not change at all. You do not feel the raise, but you also do not lose it. $325 per month invested at 8% for 30 years equals $442,628. That is what protecting one raise is actually worth. Strategy 2: The 50-50 split. If sequestering 100% of the raise feels too restrictive use, the 50-50 rule: 50% gets automatically invested 50%. You are allowed to spend on lifestyle upgrades. Using the same example, $325 per month, raise $162.50, automatically invested $162.50 available for lifestyle improvements. This gives you the psychological satisfaction of enjoying the raise while still building wealth. Over 30 years, even 50% of the raise invested becomes $221,314. That is significantly better than $0, which is what you get if the entire raise disappears. Strategy 3: The delayed gratification protocol. When you get a raise, do not make any lifestyle changes for 6 months. Continue living exactly as you were. Route 100% of the raise to investments. After 6 months, evaluate: do I genuinely feel deprived? Is there a specific lifestyle upgrade that would meaningfully improve my quality of life? If yes, make one specific upgrade. If no, keep investing 100%. What usually happens after 6 months of not upgrading, you do not miss the things you thought you would miss. You have adapted to your current lifestyle and it feels fine. Meanwhile, you have 6 months of raise invested, and watching that money grow becomes more satisfying than the lifestyle upgrades would have been. The compound effect of protected raises. Now let me show you what happens over a career when you protect raises versus when you let them disappear. Person of the raise absorber. Starts at $50,000 at age 25. Gets typical 3 to 4% raises annually plus 3 larger raises, promotions, or job changes of $8,000, $12,000, and $15,000 over their career. By age 55, they are making $110,000. Every single raise disappeared into lifestyle inflation. They are living a $110,000 lifestyle, but they have minimal savings because every income increase was matched by a spending increase. At retirement, they have maybe $200,000 in their 401k from employer matches and automatic contributions. They cannot afford to retire because their $110,000 lifestyle requires $110,000 annual income, and their investments cannot provide that. Person B, the raise protector. Same starting salary, $50,000. Same raises over the same career. Makes $110,000 by age 55. But person B protected every raise. Every increase in income was immediately rooted to investments before lifestyle inflation could consume it. They maintained a $70,000 lifestyle even while making $110,000. At retirement, person B has the standard $200,000 from 401k employer matches, plus approximately $850,000 from invested raises, total $1,050,000. Person B can retire comfortably on 4% withdrawal, $42,000 per year plus Social Security, which is more than enough because they only need a $70,000 lifestyle, not a $110,000 lifestyle. Same career, same raises, same income trajectory. The difference: person A let every raise disappear and cannot retire. Person B protected every raise and has over $1 million. Here is the math that makes this even more dramatic. Person A and person B earned exactly the same cumulative income over their 30-year careers, approximately $2.4 million. Person A spent $2.3 million and has $100,000 in net worth. Person B spent $1.8 million and has $1,050,000 in net worth. The entire difference in retirement outcomes came from protecting raises instead of absorbing them. The raise audit protocol. Let me give you a specific system for auditing whether your last raise disappeared or if you actually protected it. Step 1. Calculate your actual raise. Go back to when you got your last raise. Write down old salary, new salary, gross annual increase, after tax monthly increase. Use 65% of gross as rough estimate. Step 2. Track where it went. Pull your bank statements from the month before the raise and the current month. Compare average spending across these categories: housing, transportation, food, and dining, entertainment, shopping, subscriptions. Add up the increases. Did your spending go up by approximately the same amount as your after-tax raise? If yes, the raise disappeared. Step 3. Identify the inflation points. Look specifically for new recurring expenses that started around the raise date categories, where spending gradually increased, one-time purchases justified by "I just got a raise." These are your vulnerability points. These are where future raises will disappear unless you build protection systems. Step 4. Calculate the opportunity cost. Take the after-tax monthly raise amount and multiply by 1,360. This is the 30-year investment multiplier at 8%. Example: $300 per month. Raise multiplied by 1,360 equals $408,000. That number is what the disappeared raise actually cost you in retirement wealth. That is not a punishment or judgment. It is just the math of compound interest, making the invisible cost visible. The choice between lifestyle and legacy. Here is the brutal truth: raises do not build wealth. Protected raises build wealth. Unprotected raises just make you a higher income version of broke. The invisible raise phenomenon is not a conspiracy. It is not companies or the government stealing from you. It is your own psychology operating on autopilot, adapting to higher income by increasing spending proportionally, leaving you in exactly the same financial position you started in. 82% of people let their raises disappear. They work hard, negotiate well, increase their income, and have nothing to show for it except a lifestyle that costs more to maintain. They are running faster on the hamster wheel, but the wheel is not going anywhere. The 18% who actually build wealth with their raises are not smarter. They are not more disciplined. They just understand one simple truth: income that arrives in your checking account will disappear into lifestyle inflation unless you intercept it first. Here is what you're going to do when you get your next raise, whether that is next month or next year. Before the first bigger paycheck arrives, calculate the after-tax monthly increase. Set up an automatic transfer for 100% of that amount to go straight to an investment account. Watch as the money you never saw in your checking account turns into hundreds of thousands of dollars over your career. You will not feel deprived because you never had the money in the first place. But you also will not be in the 82% who let their raises evaporate into nothing. Your choice: let your next raise disappear like the last one probably did, or protect it and actually build the wealth that rising income is supposed to create. Most people choose option 1 because it is the default and requires no action. They discover at 65 that decades of raises bought them exactly nothing. Do not be most people. That is it for this one. If this explained where your last raise went, hit subscribe and share this with someone who just got a raise before the invisible raise phenomenon takes it. I will see you in the next one.